Rod.
Hold on. All right, now we're ready. I got a couple here, ladies and gentlemen. Really good friends of mine when Isidra and I lived in Sacramento. They really helped me out and offered their dance studio to teach classes or even do socials. That's one of the the nicest thing they've ever done for me, and never forgotten it. And but anyway, welcome Kevin and Emily. How are you?
Good. Good, thank you.
It's been a while, right?
Oh yeah.
I noticed that you're still doing your studio there, but it's not. It's back on phase 2 or something, right?
I think we're on phase 1. So we were open for a week, and then we got shut down again. But
I noticed that. That was frustrating.
It was so frustrating.
Hell, man.
So now we're just doing Zoom classes and live streaming classes on our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page specifically for streaming.
Yeah,
and
is it Yemaya Salsa or something?
No, it's for a private group. So they pay a monthly fee, and what we do is we have, you know, Facebook live stream it. They can take it during the class or afterwards, so they have access to all this, and they learn the choreography. How's
Kevin? You're working during this pandemic, right?
Yes, I've been teleworking since March. So.
Oh man, really? So they put you back to work in March or something, or what? Or
we never stopped working. That's the thing. It's like you know.
So you were one of the essential workers or something, or what?
Well, yeah. There's some staff that are, but yeah, we haven't stopped. So they just told us to take our laptops home one day and work from home.
Wow.
So we did. Yeah.
Well, in a sense, that's kind of nice. I mean, I think for you guys, like what works for me and Isidra, as you know, Isidra is not into the scene. I mean, she was into the scene for a minute there, and she didn't like it, dude. She didn't like the culture. She didn't like the politics. It's like, look, you know, I met you like this. You do your thing. I'm gonna just be here. If you need my help running the festival, I'll be there. But I can't handle these people. You know, and you know how Isidra is. She shoots from the hip, you know.
Right. Well, he's somewhat like that, but you know, just kind of helps out and stays away from all the other stuff. And I'm just the face.
Yeah.
So try to stay out of all of that and just work mainly on our studio, the students and the members.
Which is, in my opinion, which is why I think it works. You know, and because if you notice, we've been in the scene for a long time, Emily. I mean, you know, you'd be lucky if you got 15 plus years in a relationship in the dance scene, right? You know, they go together for like 4 years, and the minute, you know, they're engaged, guess what happened? That engagement never pulled through. They never get married. They canceled without announcing it, you know? So,
right.
I mean, that's just the way it is. But how did you two meet? You tell me the story of this. How did you two meet?
Merengue.
Are you serious? Of all dances?
Of all dances. So
Okay, wait, let me do this. So you met through merengue and you got pregnant through kizomba. What the hell, dude?
That's right.
Go ahead.
So, you know, when grad closed, it was like Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. But way back when we first started, this was every Tuesday.
Yeah. In the year 2000.
Oh, that's a long time ago. Yeah.
So it was Tuesday grad. So everyone just went to the grad on Tuesdays. And here I am, I've been going for some time, and this guy shows up, and I see him in the corner of my eye. You know, it's like, is he gonna ask me to dance? I saw him dance salsa. So I was just waiting around, and then a merengue comes on, and he asked me to dance merengue, and that was it for the whole night. He never asked me.
That was one dance.
It was just one dance. Yeah.
Just feeling around.
Kevin, were you intimidated? That's the reason you asked for merengue instead of salsa?
Yes. Hey, you know.
Because you already know Emily was like the pioneer at that time already, right?
Well, no, I didn't. Actually, I didn't know her then.
Interesting.
No, because yeah, I was all. But the thing is, you just came back, right?
No, I was just
in
something.
'97.
Oh, from Virginia, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and you
but I
just.
didn't meet you. I was.
And you weren't out.
Yeah, I wasn't dancing.
Yeah, he wasn't dancing. So he came back to dance again in that year, and that's when we dance merengue.
Probably was it. He still probably was intimidated because usually us guys, before we dance with a woman, we watch them first. We watch them how good they are, and if they're good, we would think twice, and we had to figure out a way how to dance with you ladies.
Yeah.
So that was like. So how did this happen? I mean, was there chemistry already, or it's something that developed over the months, or what?
Well, I don't know. I I thought it was cute.
The same.
I thought it was cute, but it wasn't. I don't think it started like that. I think it was more like a mutual dance thing. Oh, you dance, I dance. That's all, and we know certain people together, and so that's how we kind of like.
Well, that's when M started. Like, she approached me probably within the 3 months that I met her at the grad, and she said she's putting a dance troupe together, and was wondering if I'd be interested. And I was like, I don't know, I'll think about it.
Yeah, those damn directors, I tell you. And so, basically, you pretty much joined the team, right?
Yeah, I was on the team. I was one of the original dancers way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how did that come about? When did you two figure out that there is a certain attraction there? Oh wow, that's a long pause.
Wait.
Did it just happen and you didn't know what happened, or just it's something that was planned? Because, like for me and Isidra, we just went with the flow. The moment we know, we walk up in the same bed. I was like, "What the fuck? We're married." We didn't know what happened. No, seriously. So maybe that happened to you guys. I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean.
Okay, let me ask the right question. When was your first date? Holy shit. So pretty much the dance practice, the dance rehearsals, the dance socials were pretty much the dates.
I don't know if you'd say it was a date. Was it a date?
I don't know. Was it a date?
And hold on. This is Kevin's thing, because he would do the first move first. So I'm gonna ask him.
All right.
When did you figure out that you could actually go out with Emelie? And when did you ask her?
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think I ever asked.
It just happened, right?
It just, yeah.
It was just a chemistry thing, but I was attracted to her, and then just one night I got lucky.
And then that was it? Jeez. And you guys been together for like 20 plus years now. Married for 15, but been together for 20 plus years, right?
Yeah. Just celebrated our 15-year anniversary.
So pretty much like 5 years, pretty much of just having an ongoing relationship until you realize, both of you realize, did you always plan to get married, or it just happened like, wait, it's been 5 years, maybe I should propose to her or something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was about it.
Wait.
Did you buy a ring?
Who nudged you?
Okay, it was actually my dad.
Okay.
My dad asked me, if I'm serious about Emelie, if my intentions are to get married. And
Your dad-in-law or your own dad?
No, my own dad.
Okay.
I was living with my dad in one of the bedrooms at the time.
Yeah.
Place. Yeah, and then I was thinking, I'd never thought of that, and I thought, yeah, that's probably, that should be the next progression of our relationship, especially for having kids already, Jay and Cecilia. And I loved Emelie very much, and I felt it was the right thing to do.
What was the transition like for you, Kevin, having 2 grown-up kids already as a father?
Well, it was a little difficult just to
Yeah.
fill that parent
Yeah.
because I never had that role before.
Right.
Or dated anyone that had children. So, I think that's probably why it took a little bit longer for me to warm up to the idea of getting married. And, Emelie was married before.
Mm.
So, it had to be, it was just really touchy, but,
Yeah.
we it worked out.
But you weren't married before, right, Kevin?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Emelie, what did you see at this guy? How come you're married to him?
He made me laugh.
That's a good thing. That's always a plus.
Yeah, I think it's,
And not just that made you actually got his jokes. That's a good thing.
well, it's kind of an awkward person with kind of awkward jokes, like goofy ones that
Right,
no one would
right.
really laugh to, but I found it so adorable.
Right.
So, but the great thing about him is that he was persistent, and that he knew that it wasn't just me, it was more. It was the kids as well. So
Right.
going into it, I was very I didn't want to be attached because I had separated, and my main thing was the kids, and I didn't want the kids involved and things like that, unless of course it was serious, because at the time the only interaction they had with Kevin was through the dance team, the practices. When practices, the kids would be there, or when there's hangouts and people are gathered together, it would usually be just the dance team members and then the kids. Right? That's with all the other parents. Andrew hung out with the kids and all that. So we all were already a family in a sense, whereas it's a dance family, right? But when we two started to kind of really attach to each other, I was still kind of standoffish because, it's a guy coming in, and I was sort of, at that time, I didn't want to be, I didn't want to end up just kind of a one-time thing, and then what? And then the kids are, so that was a really hard thing. But he was persistent. I mean, I think what got me to really actually just really put it into heart that this is where I want to be, who I want to be with, and spend the rest of my life with, was he went through the whole thing. I guess after his dad spoke with him, he started looking for a house. And so he, and he was like, well, I'm looking for a house. I want it to be at least 3-bedroom. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you even do that, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, he wants to get a house, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then he goes, he finds a house, or I think I found it, and it's, here and there, and he explains it to me, and he goes, we're moving in. And I'm like, oh. And, so he made sure that there was a room for Cecilia, a room for Jay, our room together, and just kind of and that just kind of blew me away.
Right.
And this was 3 years after we started,
Together, yeah.
together, yeah. And then 2 years after that, he asked me to marry him. So.
I mean, Kevin.
2 years. He's the 2 weeks.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yes.
I'm getting the impression that your communication is very indirect. So, what that means is, did you always know that if you do indirect things, she will get it?
No.
She will understand.
No.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me try to make sense of this. What's your sign? I know this is kind of silly, but I'm curious about it. Yeah, what's your sign? When were you born? What month? Huh?
June 22nd, so Cancer.
You're a Cancer and she's a Gemini. Okay.
No.
What are you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, I forgot. I've always thought you're a Gemini, girl. Sorry. I didn't mean that as an insult or anything.
No.
Okay, Capricorn. Oh, hard worker, both hard worker, really, if you think about it. Capricorn, yeah, she has a mean joke there. You just have to get used to it and get it. You have to be able to get her jokes. Otherwise, you're going to think it's offensive, but it's not. It's just a dry humor, but very direct. You know?
But it is that kind of like abrasive.
Yeah. And Kevin, of course.
Like, I mean, the great thing my fondest memory is like going to bed and we would be up all night just laughing.
Just cool, really cool, yeah.
Yeah, because, he would say something and we just feed off of that. So his dorky humor and my abrasive humor just kind of clicked together. And it just made it such a good partnership. And I love the moment of it.
And you always have to realize that he's a crab. He does not walk in a straight line. That's not. It's always indirect. He wants to communicate something to you. It's always in there, giving you hints here and there. He expects you to understand it. So you gotta. Once you decode that, you'll be fine. Emelie is always gonna be direct, Kevin. That's just the way it is. Which is a good balance, because imagine that if you're both cancers, it's never gonna work.
I know a lot of cancers, so yeah.
I am one. I am a Cancer Leo. So sometimes I have a tendency to be Cancer. Sometimes I have the tendency to be Leo, which really a dry humor not too many people get. Thank God my wife gets it though. It's like it's what you call an insult comedy. I do that a lot. Some people can't get it, but anyways, okay. So far we're progressing here. Do you have any? I'm sure you've been 20 plus years. I'm sure we have some arguments. You have some. I wouldn't say fight, because fight is different. Fight for me is violence, So I wouldn't say just arguments or debates or whatever. How do you handle it?
Which one?
I'm sure there are many. 20 plus years, it's got to be, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Do you guys talk about it later? Like when everything else happened, do you guys talk about it, or you sleep on it?
I think I lean towards sleeping on it, because like I know how Em is, and I kind of learned early on, and it's like when she's in her rage,
Can't bother her. Yeah.
I just let her calm down, and we can talk about it later.
No. I told him when we don't act as if you figured it out. I told him because I really liked him, and I wanted it to work. So I told him, when I get angry, you need to walk away. That's it. You just need to stay away from me, because words come out or actions happen, and it's just out of anger.
Correct.
So I told him to just stay away from me, or just, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of brings it. I think that's mainly it. But when we get to an argument, we never get to the point where it's so like, the anger is so deep and so strong, because he usually just walks away.
That's a good thing, because what happens there is, at least in my experience, is that, they're different personalities. You guys have different personalities. And when you decode this, you know how to handle it. Like, you have to walk away, because she's going to say things she doesn't mean. And because you're so sensitive, you're going to kill yourself over it. So you have to, like, you were going to say something, Kevin.
Oh, no. Well, thankfully it hasn't gone that bad.
I tell you something, Isidra is an Aquarius. I'm a Cancer Leo. So Isidra is not sensitive. I can tell you that. She is not sensitive. She's logical.
Good. Yes.
So we never fight, but we would have arguments, debates here and there, especially politics, because now she's switching to the other side, and I've always maintained this side. No, actually, I'm much more independent now. But so we would discuss it. And one thing I know about Isidra is to convince her I have to present a logical presentation. It has to be logical. Otherwise, she will never understand it. See, for me, as a Cancer, if I was a lawyer, I will always put that emotional appeal, right? Because you should know how it feels like this. But then an Aquarius or even a Capricorn is like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think
how it is.
that
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. If it doesn't make sense, seek other sense. Because sometimes they don't understand the way you're trying to explain it. Or what I do with Isidra is I wait for 2 or 3 days. She internalizes it, because logical people, it takes about a couple of days for them to analyze it.
Oh.
It's our Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, you know, they analyze so much. Even when they're sleeping, they're analyzing. You know, are you a worried type of guy, Kevin?
I would say so, but I don't think, hopefully it doesn't show when I'm worried. But yeah, I do worry.
Most Cancers, when they're worried, they don't show it.
Yeah.
They have a big shell. They always hide it because they always hide their vulnerability because they think it's a weakness, but it's not. But what about you, Emelie? Are you a worried type of person, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Isidra is a worried type of person. She's gonna think the house will burn down. Me, even when the house is burning down, I take my time. It's not gonna be that bad. You know, we're not gonna die. Gather all of your things first. Isidra should just walk out of the house. She's anything like that, but no, that's a good thing. So there's no big fights. What do you think why do you think this relationship works for both of you?
I just think we kind of balance each other out. You know, that just, you know, because we have different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's the extrovert and she's very social, and, you know, when it comes to that aspect of, you know, everybody loves her, taking her classes and all this. And I'm the guy behind the curtains.
Yeah.
I'll pay the bills. It's like, oh, you know,
there's always got to be that someone, you know, like for me, Isidra does that. I'm just the face. I say all the bullshit things and she would just roll her eyes. But Emelie, what do you think? Why this works for both of you? I mean,
he grounds me.
Yeah. I think balancing is great. I think, do you think that after you met her, Kevin, and you figure out you like her, do you think that if you got married early, it wouldn't have worked? There's a difference here. It's like, what's the difference between being together for many years and then get married, or after meeting each other for 3 months, you get married? What's the difference, you think? Do you think it's an advisable thing to marry a person who you have not known for a while and get married right away because the chemistry is so there, right? As opposed to taking your time, maybe 3-5 years, get to know the person, maybe live together, and then decide to get married.
Well, I think it makes a difference. I think if we got married right away, it probably wouldn't have worked out as well, only because, like, you know, the beginning of the relationship is more like, I think, physical attraction, and then not really getting to know the person over time.
Did you live together first?
We did. Yeah, we lived together for 2 years before we got married.
That's good. And with that 2 years, as you go in your daily life, both of you, did you figure out, this is the person I'm going to spend time with for the rest of my life? When did you figure this out?
Well, I mean, the 2 years is so fast.
It
was
by
really fast because
fast.
You know,
They do, yeah.
Juggling the dance company and juggling the kids and, you know, the life at home. I mean, it's like, you know, and if it wasn't a little nudging from my dad, you know, that 2 years could have been like 4 or 5 years.
The thing is, not too many people realize this in the dance industry. Sometimes we beat ourselves for not spending time enough with our spouse and taking them to dinner and all of that stuff, which is those are a plus. Those are a good thing. But what they don't realize is the business itself, being there, practicing, interacting, teaching together or whatever. That is indeed already a date. that is part of it already. You know, we have an interesting industry. You have a unique industry that happens to us, as opposed to other normal people who doesn't dance and doesn't do doesn't do social things as much, which they need that type of interaction, you know, an hour or two in a restaurant or whatnot, you know. Not saying that restaurants and other cute stuff, romantic walking hand in hand on the beach is not a good thing. It's always a good thing when you have time, you know.
Yeah.
But Emelie has been teaching for many, many, many years already, and you already met her that way. Were you able to handle that culture, Kevin?
I think so, because we're in the early stages of of Yemaya Dance Company, and so there was a lot of growth there at the time. There, you know, we didn't even have a website at the time. We didn't even have a space because we were rehearsing out of a garage.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot. You know, a lot could have been developed, which, you know, we did over time. But I think that's
so
where I felt like
we both grew into it, like
Yeah.
our you know, together. So this is something that we nurtured as a couple. You know, at first it was, I think if I would have taken care of Yemaya by myself, it wouldn't have lasted.
Got it.
You know, but because I had Kevin, I was able to go further and to get to where we are right now.
Right.
Because he actually made my dreams come true. You know.
Okay, so he was more like the behind the scene guy, which
He was everything.
not too many people know this, that the behind the scene people are really the one that made your career. And I credit my wife a lot for that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have learned how to manage things, because, you know, I'm just an idea guy. I don't know how to manage things, you know. But Isidra was really good at that. She didn't need to teach me. I just had to watch her. And I learned a lot from that. And this is one of the reasons I entrusted her. Because, look, after David or Choco or Albert Torres died, you never know what's going to happen, you know, to promoters like this. And I made sure that, really, one of my legacy that will never be erased is the San Francisco Bachata Festival. So I want to make sure that when I leave, all of a sudden, that Isidra is there, that she takes care of that. And so I made sure that she's the owner of that festival now, not me. So all of you guys, don't bother me. Bother Isidra, okay? How's the studio doing, guys? I mean, all right. How's the rental thing going? You know, financially, all that's a little hardship, because I know how that is. Ava just closed her studio. Allegro probably is going to close. So we don't know what's going to happen. This is a long-term thing, you know?
Yeah, and like everyone else, we don't know what's going to happen. We are, unfortunately, with the studio till the end of the year. We have that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not bringing in revenue. We don't have students. We don't have team members. We don't have events.
So right about our fundraiser.
But, you know, we closed down in March. And through the help of friends, dear friends, that we are so very grateful for, team members, our staff, and the community, our friends, and all that, the support that they provided. So, I had a group that did a GoFundMe, and, you know, for the first couple of months, team members continued to pay dues, knowing that the studio is closed.
I see. Yeah, so that's a good thing. You know, it's like, that's a good thing to have a lot of loyal friends, and not to mention loyal students that you guys have. You know, that's a good thing. I mean, So you guys are set for a year at least. Who knows if after a year we're fully going to come back? You don't. I don't know. It's a matter of the vaccines being distributed to everyone. So the hotels had been calling me. It's like, are you going to do it 2021? I was like, I'd love to. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I just saw an article in Hawaii about the hotels. They're in trouble, meaning that some of those hotels are going to close down. I think that's going to happen like probably in the middle of October, early November. You're going to see a lot of our favorite places to be closing down. And it's unfortunate because there's just no way they could sustain something like that without making any income every month. There's just no way, unless they go to their rainy day savings, but those rainy day savings is for the household only and not for the business. And so that's, it's a mess. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I'm actually been looking for jobs, but it's hard to find jobs when you left the corporate sector in 2006. I've been looking into getting back into counseling, but it's a different state, different licensing, different tests. I found that taking a test, I feel like in grade 1. I am not used to it. I am so slow. I have to keep practicing this test. Any kinds of test, really. I have to keep practicing myself. But are you getting any type of supplemental stuff for your business, though, Emelie?
No, we're not. Yeah, right now, like all the fundraising and all the GoFundMe profit that was done or made through that is already spent, because that was April, May, June, July. And then August, we have to be able to pay rent for August. So we are, with the studio not opening up, again, there's no revenue coming in. So we're trying to find ways, like our fundraisers.
Can't you do like a private lesson in the studio though?
We can do private lessons,
okay. Yeah.
It's hard, right? Because not everyone is comfortable with that. So it's not only the studio not being able to open, it's the fact that students in general are not ready to come back. They're not ready to be in that type of environment. No matter how much precautions a studio can do, the social distancing, the mask, the hygiene, all of that, the cleaning and everything, it's still up to the students to come and take the classes. And with so much fear out there, it's difficult to bring them all back in. So that's the struggle that we're doing. Want to open up, but are there going to be students that are going to come in? Because we're not even functioning at a 15% rate right now.
Yeah.
So 15,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, 50% here, 50% here in Reno, whether it's a restaurant or a studio. We're in phase 3 here. So meaning we could do the gym, we could do restaurants, whatnot. I think we're a little bit of lucky here. I think it has something to do with the population. There's not much people here. So, which is understandable as opposed to California. You guys really had it bad. I mean, really bad. Not to mention burning and all of that stuff recently. Jeez, what else could get worse, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, God, you have a lot of loyal students there. I was just talking to Andrew the other week. That was a little funny because I told him I used to see you and JJ dancing when you guys were 13. It's like, shit, I am old. I mean, you remember all the parties we used to have in you had the studio somewhere in a different location, somewhere in a desolate place, actually. Somewhere like, I think it was like a garage. I don't know.
Something.
I know where it was. Off of,
Yeah, we would. You'd do some like potluck parties. We would do it outdoor, and we would dance outdoor there and do the barbecue. Those were fun times. And at that time, I wasn't even living in Sacramento yet. But how's your adobo fundraising thing? Because I've been seeing that thing, and you know what?
Lumpia.
Not adobo, lumpia. Yeah, speaking of adobo, I can never cook it right. I get the mix. It doesn't come out right. I give up. I'm just gonna go to a Filipino restaurant, but
They show with ginger and garlic.
No vinegar.
Vinegar.
what do you do? Fresh lumpia or Shanghai lumpia that you guys are doing?
Lumpia, not fresh, but the vegetable lumpia. The
So you make it from the scratch then, huh?
yeah.
That's awesome. You can't just get it in Goldilocks and just pour that.
No.
That's the easiest though.
It tastes better, yeah.
And that seems to be successful because you almost do it like every now and then, right?
We usually have our annual lumpia fundraiser, but this time around it's a little early than our usual because of COVID.
It's biannual now.
It's biannual now.
And there's no team rehearsal at this moment, yeah?
We are once in a while we do. We have our weekly team practices, but that's just still at a very minimum, and at times, you know, it's once every often that we do it, just to keep up with, you know, with the technique. I mean, coming back. Okay, so the dance company stopped dancing, let's say mid-March, and they didn't come back until last month, which is July. Being away that long, it was kind of funny watching dancers come back and try to figure out what it was that they're supposed to do. So practice makes, you know, it makes a huge difference, especially when done regularly. And you cut that off and you see what happens, and everything just kind of, you have a deer with glazed eyes dancing or trying to dance.
I know exactly what you mean. I was trying to do some shines. My shines last night. My leg cramped. Like, the fuck? I used to do this all night. What's going on here? You know?
Yeah.
So look, Kevin, there was a time where you were both teaching together, right? Just a little bit, right? What was it? I'm going to tell you my dynamics with Isidro, but what was the dynamics like between the both of you teaching together?
Well,
we can't teach together.
It was very short.
Why?
Well, very short-lived, and you know, Em does all the talking, so like I was just the dummy. I just kind of later.
But were you compelled to talk also though?
No, I let her.
Not at all, huh?
No, she's the trainer.
He won't.
She's the pro.
He just wants to be there. I mean, he basically just followed whatever it is. You know, it's like, okay, you know, you want to say something, and he's like, no.
Well, that's a good thing. I think that would work with me and Isidro. No way. There's just no way. There's no way my wife is gonna shut up. There's just no way. If she didn't agree what I was teaching, she will say so in public. Oh yeah. I was like, no, that's not how it's done. I was like, oh my God. And so we don't teach together. There's just no way, because, you know, although she's I don't even consider her a introvert. She's an alpha. We're both alpha. There's just no way. You know?
I can see that.
Yeah. You know, and it's a good thing, because there was one time a friend of ours asked, like, why do you think it works for both of you? It was because I was like, well, we get each other. And if I'm doing something wrong, she'll yell at me. And I respect her so much of her opinion that I would say she's right. You know, I say the same thing to my wife. If there's something wrong, I need to tell her there's something wrong. I tell her. She would not get convinced for like probably 3 minutes. And then I explain to her why. Again, logical people, right? For me, I bounce between logic and emotion. You know, it's a internal struggle for me. You hurt my nose. No, you hurt my feelings. But then this makes sense. It doesn't work. You have to reconcile it. You know? But it works because it's a thing that can be learned. It's a learned behavior. And Emily, you are known for, at least at my festival, for teaching what we call the etiquette dance workshops. Now, not too many people know what does etiquette means, and when we say etiquette workshop, they think it's a boring thing. Could you touch on this a little bit? Because I know it's not just brushing teeth and whatnot. I think it has a lot of things to do about the dance when it comes to the etiquette. So how do you approach your workshops?
First and foremost, I see the level, basically. You know, I can say all levels, but then if there's a majority, the majority is beginners, I'm gonna go towards more of what they need to know, not as dancing or as, you know, footwork or any of that, but as a lead or a follow.
Right.
You know, because they're new to the scene, right?
Yeah.
And it's up to us, the seniors, to basically let them know what the dangers are, maybe, what proper etiquette is. And first and foremost is just to be kind, right? Because if you're dancing, my pet peeves is that, okay, let's say I get a majority advanced dancers into a class and there's some new members, right? And this is why I label my class, whether beginner, intermediate, or advanced, because I don't think if you advance, you know, announce it as going off the subject, but if you announce it at all levels and then a lot of advance comes in, the beginner gets to kind of like just cower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but a lot of the things, like if I do get advanced in an all level class, I just want to make sure that they're reminded that you were once a beginner.
Yeah, it's true.
So
what do you think?
Basically, you like just be kind, right?
Be kind is actually the most important of all, if you think about it, right? The social scene now, even before pandemic, of course, and you know, because sometimes us professionals, we would go to a club, we don't look at people to criticize them. We look at people as like, what's missing here? What's the vibe like? How do these people lead? How do these people follow? We just want to get an idea on what's missing in the community so that we can incorporate it in our classes. At least that's what I do in my area when I go social dancing. I'm not looking at them to criticize them. You know, that's not at all. It's just a way of what does this community need? So what do you think is the community need nowadays in general when it comes to dancing in the etiquette sense?
They need the time. They need to take time to learn properly. They really do. And not just learn properly, but learn from you know, the ones that have been here for a very long time, right? There's some that have been here for a very long time, but have not generated what I call like positive energy, right?
Yeah.
So what I mean is learn properly and learn from someone that's actually done something for the community, in a fact where not just done personally, but technically as well.
Right.
You can tell by their students, you can tell by their dance in itself, and by the structure of how they do classes, events, and things like that. So, I mean, before the pandemic, I think a lot of the things that's been happening is the fact that everybody just wants to learn something new, but doesn't fall back on how and the whys, right? Why do we do a certain thing this way and not that way? Things like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. I think that having a good structure, good foundation, basics, mastering the basics are one of the essential things to make the dance safer, and even readable as a follower, or even leadable as a lead or whatnot. But I think you're on the right track there. I see our social sometimes that a lot of people have been ignoring the basics to a point that when they execute techniques, it's not properly done because their basics are not good. So therefore, it's it's harming either the followers, and believe it or not, followers, if you're not following right, the leaders can also get injured.
Yeah.
For example, I was dancing with someone and I cross-body lead her. She wrestled me. Practically, I didn't, not literally, but that's the way it was felt. I think I almost messed up my shoulder because she was hard to cross-body lead. It's like I'm trying to like, and she was skinny, but she felt like, like just like what's going on here?
You know? We know exactly. Been there, yes.
And if you notice, not too many people are doing the cross-body lead right. They're not, some of them are really not following it right. So they're not leading it right. So these are the things that I see, which is for me part of etiquette, because applying the proper techniques is an etiquette itself for me,
Yeah. And we're all, I think that's what the company is known for.
Yeah.
I'm very strict on technique, but what I want my students to understand is that the technique is there for you to guide you. The style is for you to choose whether you want to use it or not. Technique is there to make sure that you and your partner are safe.
Yeah. Especially you used to do acrobatics before, Emily. You used to do a lot of tricks with Abraham.
Shut up.
How could I forget that, man? Yeah, you guys used to do a lot of tricks, and if you guys didn't do the proper technique thing, I don't think you'd be dancing now. But
Right.
and in the competition arena nowadays, those tricks are needed, and so it's a good thing that Yemaya emphasizes that, because I know certain students from Yemaya does compete in certain competition, or even Jack and Jill for that matter, and probably Jack and Jill is the most dangerous one, because you don't know who you're gonna be. You don't know who you're gonna be paired up with that person can lead or follow or not. Right. So that's the most dangerous one. Yeah, I was just talking to Andrew the other week, and I was trying to encourage him to live in Sacramento again. We were just talking.
I thought he mentioned something like he's considering it.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think one of these days when he has the opportunity, I think Europe will be his place. Not LA. I don't see him in LA. And number one, LA is just very territorial. There's just no way. If you're not from there, here's the difference about LA and the Bay Area. When our people go there, they'll never succeed. That's just the way it is, okay? Except for Alex De Silva, but at that time, I never really considered him in the Bay Area. He lived here. He lived in the Bay for a while, but then, but then if one of them comes here, we will embrace them.
Welcome.
Look at Kathy. Look at Kathy Reyes. It is as if she's always lived here.
Right, and that's what I love about it. It's like there's that sense of being embraced by the community, and I love that. I can remember big names that's come through, and I think it's more of the excitement of having a community grow, right? Because here's another good instructor. Here's another one that can bring more knowledge to what we already have. And that's, to me, Sacramento, I embrace. I love the fact when new instructors come in. I love that. And I welcome it. And I tell my students, because it's a testament to what you show your students, and my students and team members to me are my family, and there's nothing more I want than for my family to grow and become better. So every time there's a new instructor or a new person that comes in to Sacramento, I am the first person that would just basically let everyone know as soon as I find out, look, you know, check them out and things like that. Welcome them in.
Yeah, that's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. When me and Isidro moved to Sacramento, you know, Yemaya really embraced us, even supported us. When I teach workshops, I saw a lot of Emelie students there supporting me. And even when we did socials, even Emelie taught, you know, at one of my socials. It's just at Sacramento, it's almost impossible to do things unless Emelie or the pioneers there are already there, that's already known. So it's hard to garnish new support, if I have to say it that way.
It's very, yeah.
I mean, you know, at one point there was this idea for all of us to, for the three of us to do a Congress there. And in a sense, probably I would say I'm glad it didn't work out, because if the hotel didn't say no, I would have done it with you guys. I love that hotel, but suddenly the hotel said no. I don't think they were ready, because I specifically say I don't think they were ready for that type of community in that certain hotel. And I knew that was if we were to do a Congress, that was the only centralized hotel that might work. Okay, the other locations I didn't see it. There was just no way. And you know, I'm glad we didn't do it, because number one, I didn't want you to lose money. I didn't want to lose money. Yeah, maybe someday, but you never know. After this pandemic, hopefully everything is not the same. It will be back, but hopefully it will be back in a better way. I don't know.
Right.
But
right.
We will see.
But that's just the hardest thing about Sacramento, right? Is that everyone works together and kind of like make it grow.
It's hard. No, I mean, the thing about, look, the Sacramento people are very nice. Okay, I'm talking about dancers, the community there. They're really nice people, but when it comes to powers that be, I experienced some type of resentment there, or whatever you want to call it. Very territorial. They might be nice to you when they see you and smile, but back, you know, and I'm not saying this to it's just a fact thing that happened to me, you know. Yeah. I know the people that were nice to me. I know the people that were not nice to me.
Hey, we feel that too. And we live here.
It's been 20 years and we still feel that way.
And I mean, we live here.
You know, the hardest thing about, I think the most difficult time of Yemaya is the very beginning. Not because we were new. I mean, that's one of the main factors, but because I came from the East Coast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That community, you know, where everyone was so supportive. There's competition, and this is like classical and the jazz and all that. And everyone is, you know, very much supportive. There's competition, but it was healthy competition. You know, when I first came here, the competition was very different. And I think the first 5 to 7 years was the most difficult for me, because I didn't feel like, other than the dancers that we had, I didn't feel like I was wanted in Sacramento. Needed is a different story, but I didn't feel like I was wanted. And we came to a discussion, Kevin and I, that from then on, and this was between 2005 and 2007, that from then on, everything we do, we will do for our family. And that was the focus. And the family included, of course, our immediate family, and then our family, which is the Yemaya dance family.
Right.
Everything from then on that we've ever done, we didn't do because popularity, or we want our name out there, or we want this. It was because we wanted to bring certain things to Sacramento and to our dancers, in the hopes that Sacramento would want the same thing.
Yeah. it's a sad thing because Sacramento's perhaps one of the biggest state, not state, the biggest city in California. Really, one of the biggest city in California. You can't even compare the size of San Francisco to Sacramento. There's just no way. It's not, you know, it's so big, and yet the community is so small. You know, I don't understand it, but I think it's really has to come from the powers that, because if you analyze Bay Area, yeah, we have a lot of competitors there. You know, teachers teaching left and right, promoters doing social left and right, even at the same night in 5 clubs, you know, but yet those 5 clubs are packed. But yet when the going gets tough, some leaders meet with each other and communicate. It's like the leaders summit type of thing, you know. I don't know that now because of the new breeds and new thing, but I'm talking about the way we used to do it in old school, you know. So I don't know about that now in the Bay, but who knows? Again, this pandemic has changed a lot of attitudes, hopefully for good, hopefully for humility, hopefully for looking out for each other. You know, I'm just sad that Ava's studio closed down. She was kind enough that I had some class there on Thursdays at one point, and she was really a big help as well. And so I really felt bad, but at the same time, maybe it was a smart thing for her to do that.
Yeah, because I think what she was saying was that it was difficult at that studio as well, because I mean, when I think of Latin symbolics, I think of all the aerials, not just the tricks, not just the floor tricks and lifts, but the aerials.
Yeah.
And they didn't have that. I don't think they had a high ceiling on the studio that they just left.
Right.
I think moving to a new studio that does have high ceilings, which
maybe after this pandemic is over. I am assuming that after this pandemic is over, maybe the rents are a little lower. Maybe there'll be more available spaces somewhere there, you know, down the line. We'll see. Maybe the hotels will be a little cheaper so I can organize my festival a little better. You know, I don't know. But Kevin, I know you're Filipino, right? 100%, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
What's the other parts?
Filipino, Chinese, Hawaiian, and I have a little Scotch. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Do you speak the language, or you pretty much English?
Pretty much English, yeah.
You're pretty much born in the United States then, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And Emelie, where were you born?
Philippines.
Yeah, so, I mean, did you grow up there a little bit or what?
So Philippines, I was there until about 8.
Okay.
Around 8, and then we moved to Guam.
Oh, yeah, that's considered Philippines still, but
yeah. Basically Philippine Island.
It's
like, no, they're not.
It's a precursor to Hawaii.
right. So yeah, and then moved to the East Coast when I was 16.
So you pretty much speak the main language like Tagalog, right?
Yeah.
And you pretty much understand it, right?
Yeah.
So your kids, do they speak Tagalog? Do they understand it?
No.
But they like Filipino food, right?
Oh yeah.
How dare they? They don't speak Tagalog. No, just kidding.
I know. My Aaron, who's 12, I think last year or the year before, he's like, you know, I want to learn Tagalog. Because he hangs out with Filipino kids, and they call each other kuya and ates, and it's just, you know, it's like I didn't even think to teach him Tagalog because my Tagalog sucks.
Well, that's the problem. It's not gonna work. You know, how I learned Tagalog is going to, at that time, and that was not on TV, it was on radio. There was a lot of telenovelas, Filipino style, right? That's all I listened to. It took me 2 years to be fluent in Tagalog.
Oh, wow.
That's all I listened to, man. I mean, it's not that hard to, there are 2 languages that are very easy to learn, Spanish and Tagalog, which is very similar anyway, you know, in so many ways, yeah. So what's your favorite Filipino food, both of you?
Oh, I like it so much.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you gotta pick one. I mean, you know.
my brother just made the chonkawali the other day. And
Oh,
oh my
so
God,
good.
it was so good. And then we had pancit and
What type of is it bihon or what, canton or what?
bihon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just vegetables. 'Cause we
Vegetables,
had,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but that lechon kawali, shit, I would drown. I would probably in a food coma after eating that.
It's so good.
it's so good.
I love dinuguan too. That's my favorite. One of my favorites.
Do you really? I mean, my
Oh,
mom used to cook that a lot, and at that time when I was a kid, I didn't know what it was, but it tasted so good. And then I grew up, it's like, ain't no way I'm eating blood. I could not handle it, you know. I mean, I only experienced that so many times because before, my mom used to teach me how to kill a chicken. Did you ever learn that, Emily?
Oh, I watched it so many times growing
Oh,
up.
she had me do it many times.
Oh, wow.
Showed me and she had me do it many times, yeah.
neck, right? You break the neck.
Oh, you don't want to know because I can't, when I describe it to Cedra, she doesn't want to hear it. Yeah, but there's an art to it. You just don't cut it like that the way other people do it. No, dude, there's a process. It's very interesting, but what else could we talk about? Filipino food, we got that covered. I like chicharong bulaklak.
Oh,
Sounds good.
Instead of lechon kawali, that's what I would get.
Yeah.
I would I would die for a very good sinigang. Whether it's
we have
baboy.
sinigang all the time. That's
Yeah.
I would say that's like a norm for us here because we would always have, especially in the winter, sinigang is a norm for us. We love it.
There are two restaurants that I like when it comes to sinigang na baboy. They cook it differently. Each of them. Max cooks it really different, right? And Barrio Fiesta cooks it really differently. And yeah.
What's Barrio Fiesta?
I don't know if you have that in Sacramento.
No, we don't have Barrio Fiesta in Sacramento.
Mostly in the South Bay. Even Max. Well, there's one in Vegas in Max, big restaurant. I mean, every time you used to go to my festival in Vegas, you forgot there is a Max restaurant there. Big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 10-minute drive from the hotel, really, you know. Let's see. So when is your anniversary? Is it over or what?
2 days ago. The 19th.
Congratulations, really.
Yeah.
How appropriate, really.
I know.
I didn't even know that. I was like, do you still give each other's gift, whether it's birthday or anniversary?
Not this year.
Good excuse. It's a pandemic.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
That's a little bit of my weakness because Isidra has everything. I'm not talking about money or whatever, but materials. If she wants something, she buys it. And so she already has that. And every time I buy her something, it's not her cup of tea. And so I try to decode that. So what we do for each other now, every time an anniversary is coming up, a birthday coming up, it's like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? You know,
Yeah.
It's not like, as a Cancer before me, I was like, no, you figure it out. I want you to figure it out. Figure out what I want, but don't ask me because I don't want to impose because that's what being Cancer is. No, I learned that the hard way. It's like, yeah, she really means that. She doesn't know what to buy me, so I better tell her. It's the same way in both of them. That's why it works. This relationship works. Now, we don't know. Maybe when we have kids, it's a different thing. I already told you guys we don't fight. But I guess most of my friends tell me that once the kid comes, it's a different dynamic. So
It'll change everything.
But the great thing is that you guys are still together, though.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, someone asked me, it was a good friend of ours. We were at a party and they're like, she said something like, I think my best years are in my my 30s or something, and then asked me, when was your best years? And I had to think about that, and I was like, I think that every year that comes, because I feel like I'm so blessed that I have Kevin and the kids, and what we have now is that every year that we're together seems like better than so I can't say my best years are in my 20s because I got to my 30s.
Yeah.
And it seems like the best years, and then we get to our 40s, and it seems like it's the best years, and it's just like every year, every decade is wonderful. So I mean, and we're blessed that way, right?
No, that's a great thing. I mean, I know you guys have kids. I'm not sure if you can leave them alone, but do you guys shop together?
We shop together? No.
It's probably because of the kids, right? There's no one to watch them and whatnot, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you the shopping type of guy, Kevin, or Emily is?
Say that again?
Are you the shopping type of guy, or Emily is?
No, I don't really shop. I just look at stuff that I like.
Yeah, I see. I think he's more of the window shopper. Yeah. And I'm more of, I know what I want, so I want to get it. I don't want to window shop.
Yeah, I see guys more of like,
go in, go out. Unless I have, unless Veronica is with me, because then that's totally different. We're not going shopping. We're kind of like just gossiping, and we're away from the kids. The guys have the kids. And so it's our time. So that's the kind of shopping that we do. But as far as shopping together, I don't think we shop.
I don't really shop, unless it's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Yeah. And then food, I do all the shopping.
Yeah.
It depends, I guess. It depends because I am a window shopper per se. No, I'm not actually. Isidra is. Not only she's a window shopper, she always looks for a good deal. And for some reason, she finds a good deal. And, she's even very proud when she buys something really cheap and she could multiply it. Like, you know how much this is? It's like, I don't know. No, you have to guess. It's like 50 cents. No, it's 45. But I'm the type of shopper, well, I search it on the internet, drive, go there, pick it up, get out, come back home.
That's it.
Not gonna waste my freaking time, man. There's no way. Yeah. I'm that type, but Isidra is different. So there are two ways I do this. I go shopping with her because she needs me. She needs my opinion. She goes to the dressing room, she comes out, and I tell her opinion. And she always bring me because I do not sugarcoat it. I'm actually brutal. It's like, no, you look big on that one. No, that's not good. And she would just go. And then she just said, okay, that's good. This is why she takes me shopping. She respects my views, because this is why even on judging a competition, those competitors come to me. It's like, what did you honestly think? Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's the reason she takes me shopping. I don't enjoy it, but I do it for her.
Aw, see, it's good. Yeah. I get that with him.
How's Cecilia doing? I still remember Cecilia when she wanted to dance with me all the time. Not anymore. She grew up. How is she doing? She has a kid already, right?
She's got 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's got 2. So she's up in Susanville.
Oh, you're grandparents now. Oh, geez.
Yes, of 2.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I thought she was going to give us a girl, but we got another boy. So we have a bunch of boys. So in the family, it's just me and Cecilia as the girls. But she's up in Susanville. Her husband got assigned to the prison there.
Oh, okay. That's good.
He's up there, and she just had a baby last month. No, June.
June.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. She's in Nevada then. That's good. That's a good thing. JJ is still with you guys? Living with you guys?
Already know.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
then your little ones are grown up. I mean, at least they're like 12-ish, right?
Yeah, 12 to 7.
Oh, jeez.
I
No,
know.
you're not planning to have another one, are you?
Can't.
Unless there's I can't. Okay, that's fine. You solved it already.
Next!
And there's
Next!
unless there's another closed dance that we haven't discovered
I
yet.
know. Lambada.
We used to teach you guys, it's like it's all Kizomba's fault.
Yeah.
When you brought in Kizomba to the studio, that was it. I think
Yeah.
so many people got pregnant that month.
I used to get into that dance. I'm not into it anymore. For some reason, I lost it. One thing I know, I never lost the interest of bachata though, or salsa. But for some reason, I got bored with kizomba. I don't know what happened, but I had my time on it.
I do love it. I love teaching the very basics of it.
Oh,
I'm not in the, I mean, it was hard because, I teach bachata, salsa, and kizomba.
totally different. Each dance, totally different moves. Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting into the kizomba community, I wanted it. I really did, because I do love the dance. I love the connection, but it was too much for me. I couldn't do everything. Someone told me I couldn't do everything. I was about to prove it wrong, but it was true. I couldn't do everything.
Did you?
Don't tell me I can't do everything.
Did you and your whole family ever visited Manila since then? Since you grew up, or not? No, haven't. Not yet.
Just me. Just me.
You? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When was it? What year was it?
2010.
2010. It's a long. Yeah.
It's so changed now. I mean, it's like so industrialized, and
it's very.
The economy was doing good there before the pandemic. So, but who knows what's going to happen? But I don't know what's going to happen. We have a house there. I don't know. I have to talk to my sister whether we're going to sell it or not. I still don't know. But anyway,
we still have our family land there, so my brothers have to discuss and see what they're going to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, ever since my mom died, she had all the paperwork, and that ended with her, and so now we have the paperwork. We just don't know. We have to decide. I mean, I have 2 siblings, and so we have to decide and agree on one thing. So we'll see. But well, hopefully we can hang out again. I was really counting on the July festival and even the October festival when you got the new Mambo Expo thing. I was really looking forward to that because it's the old school of Mambo.
Right. Yeah.
I had Frankie, I have you, I have Ava, I have Magna, I have Mike Bello, I have Sion. I'm talking about old school.
Old school. Oh, man.
Talking about old school. And so, but, we'll see if 2 years from now. But anyways, guys, thank you both. You always supported my festival. You guys are always there. I really appreciate it. And your help is not forgotten, and definitely made a good contribution in the success of it. And so me and Isidro really appreciate you. Hopefully we can hang out with each other again.
Yes. Thanks, Rodney. We miss you.
We miss you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet. And if you like this content, that means you like Emelie and Kevin. Click like there. Putting a guilt on them a little bit, but anyway. Thank you both. See you soon.
Thanks, Rodney.